All right, gratitude. What am I talking about? Grand rising and gratitude. Um, uh, Thanks for stopping by. It's Shay Seeking, and we are going to be reading. I'm just going to go ahead and start the Battle of Armageddon today. I just briefly read a couple of things in here, and it kind of sounds legit. Um, I don't know. I was looking for an image of Armageddon, and this is the thing that popped up, so we're just going to use it. Because I do think that it's pertaining somewhat to this. Um, I mean, these are elements of this here Armageddon. I feel. Um, so it says here the approaching trouble, and this is in the book of the study of scriptures. Um, and it says the approaching trouble variously symbolized by the prophets, um, typified in Israel's fall. And it says AD 70, which again, I think that's 1870. It's just the way that I do research. It's going to say what it says and whatnot. But again, what is all of this information that we have? It's been things that have been documented by people. We don't exactly know what was their mindset all the time, where they got the information, how they came up with it, who approved it. So again, all of this information, even when it comes to the biblical text, is all just information that was here before, you know, a lot of it before any of us were born. And it's up to us to decode or use other tools right now that are available to us naturally in order to decipher what's going on. So again, it could be, but again, I think of also the Israel's fall had to do with, again, we won't even go all the way there. Okay. And the French Revolution, its general character and extent. So again, it's funny how we go into the French Revolution because that's more modern. It's not ancient, but we're talking about, biblical prophecy here. So again, I think that, again, we didn't really lose our really standing here in this place until the late 1800s, is my opinion. So it says, general character and extent. The Lord's great army, the worst of the heathen, the time of Jacob's trouble, his deliverance, the discomfiture, feature of God and Magog, or Gog and Magog. It says, for lo, I begin to bring evil onto the city which is called by my name. It says Christendom, Babylon. I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts. The Lord will call aloud from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall cry out very loudly over his normal habitation. His, look at me, nominal habitation, Christendom. He shall give a shout as they tread the grapes against all inhabitants of the earth. Now, again, this is kind of sounding like something I was just reading in Isaiah a little bit when it comes to the grapes. And this is against all of the inhabitants of the earth. So this is not the earth. It's not the Atokchons. It's not the, it's those who are inhabiting it. Again, I would suggest you look in etymology, since I don't do that much on this channel anymore, and see what an inhabitant is. Okay. It's those that are in habitation or in a, inhabiting a place. They may not be originally from there. Again, and this is not to cause divide on my end. This is just telling you like it is. Okay. It says, a tumultuous noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He holdeth judgment over all flesh. He will give them that are wicked the sword, and saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Okay, so now we change over to the Lord of hosts. Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the farthest end of the earth. So again, I think this is talking about we could be talking about the furthest end if you're talking about east and west or something like that, north and south. But we can also be talking about the lowest point, okay? The Sheol or the underworld, right? And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. So again, we can look at that however you want. That could be talking about people in elevated statuses and people in lower statuses. Anyway, it could be talking about coming from one continent over to another, across into another. Okay. And it said, they shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Okay. And that's Jeremiah 25:29 through 38 is making reference to that. It says, so complex and peculiar will be the conflict of this day of vengeance that no one symbol could describe it. In the scriptures, accordingly, many forceful symbols are used, such as battle, earthquake, fire, storm, tempest, and flood. Okay, so again, tempest is something that draws my attention because it's making me think about the temptation of Yeshua or Jesus or the Christ figure or whatever you want to call, It is the battle of the great day of the God Almighty, when he shall gather the nations and assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them his indignation, even all his fierce anger. For the Lord of hosts himself mustereth the host of the battle. Revelation 16 and 14, Zephaniah 3 and 8, Isaiah 13. Oh, well, it is something like a little bit of Isaiah in there. 13 and 4. It is a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So again, this is going to be a big uproar. It's going to be, an earthquake doesn't always, and I think it's going to say it here somewhere, it doesn't always have to mean that we're talking about the earth, the ground that we're walking on shaking. This could be talking about something that is stewed up or brewed up amongst the actual earthlings, or the earth itself, the soil, which would be the organic original peoples of a land. Okay. And their offspring could be, it could be talking about their offspring, but it's saying the earth. Okay. So again, I would suggest you look up what earth really means, or the closest thing to it, the history of the word in etymology. Such as was not since men were upon the earth. So again, this is something that hasn't happened since when men was on the earth. So that is even already giving me some kind of a dividing factor, right? That this is something that nobody has seen since before men, okay? Since men were upon the earth. So since they have been men, which again could be the entities that came into different lands, right? To conquer or to subdue or to replenish, subdue, these particular things is what they would have been coming to do. And so again, this is maybe like a clash of, it's going to be as intense as it was the first time when they tried to come and take over. I mean, this is just what I'm thinking. And again, this is just in general layman's terms. That's it. Okay. So mighty an earthquake, and so great, which shall shake not the earth only, but also heaven. So this is going to be something that's going to also come from the heavens. Meaning also elevated statuses, that which would be, people might say, a hidden, some form of a deep state government or something of that nature. Excuse me. Or it could be just talking about, like I said, in elevated statuses, because everything, power trickles down. Okay. And we don't always know what's going on at the top. Okay. So it shall not shake the earth only, but also heaven. Revelation 16 and 18 and Hebrews 12 and 16 will be making reference to this. The fire of Jehovah's jealousy. Okay. So again, this is Jehovah's jealousy. Okay. Which shall devoureth all earth. Okay. So he is about to be jealous, or he, Jehovah, you know, is going to be very, I'm guessing, jealous. So I'm guessing Jehovah is the jealous God referred to in the Bible, because again, there are different gods in my opinion. Which shall devour all the earth. Okay. So again, I don't know. You know, both the present heavens, the ecclesiastical powers of Christendom, and the earth, the social organization under both church and state influence. Okay. The social organizations, organ, under both church and state influence, are reserved unto fire against this day of judgment. The heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements of present ecclesiasticism shall melt with servant heat. Okay? With servant or fervent heat. Apologies. The earth society also, the works that are therein shall be burned up. So again, the earth society also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. The heavens being on fire shall be dissolved. Okay? Being on fire shall be dissolved. All the proud and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. So it's kind of like not one rock standing. It's kind of what it's sounding like. And this fire shall burn them up. Whew. And I know these types of readings may be kind of scary, but again, I think some of these things are facts that need to be faced. And since I don't know if this is a popular book or not, but I haven't seen, I don't know if it's a popular book or not. I've just decided that we'll just do one of these a day. We'll just go for a little bit, because I think that it's very important to see some of the signs and symbols. And again, even if you're not religious, like I'm not, even if you don't do church, like I don't, I am someone who examines and investigates the word. I have, been studying his story and the story, or our story, for a while now in the biblical text, and doing it in a certain different fashion. And so that's why I'm just, that's just how we do it on this channel. Again, to each his own. I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this fire shall burn them up. It shall leave them neither root nor branch. Zephaniah 3:8, 2 Peter 3:10 and 12, Malachi 4:1 is what this is making reference to. His way is in the whirlwind, in the storm. Who can stand before his indignation? And who can abide in fierceness of his anger? Nahum 1:3, 6, and 7. Behold, it cometh mighty and strong from the Lord, as a temple of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters, overflowing, and shall cast down. So it's going to cast down to the earth with power the crown of pride. So again, this crown is going to cast down to the earth. Okay, so this is something that will be coming from on high. With power, the crown of pride. Now, again, one thing about this crown, I'm even noticing that crown that I noticed that somebody posted a picture of a crown and a crown of of the queen. And it, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the uh, coat of arms that I did the video on. That's either going to be on Facebook on under Shay Seeking, or it's going to be on the YouTube channel, American Aborigines Unchained. Okay. But I noticed that crown, especially the front part of it, is exactly pretty much like that symbol that I was looking at a little bit differently that was on that coat of arms. Okay. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry. So again, he's gonna block or rebuke, send back. I mean, however you want to look at it. The sea might be receding. Who knows? Okay. And again, the sea can also be a sea of people, or again, it can have something to do with maritime peoples. The mountains quake at him. So again, there's mountains of people or crowds of people, or even because we don't see the, again, this could be the case, right? If things are going to be moved around, we are seeing earthquakes. But again, when haven't we not seen earthquakes? There have always been earthquakes, lots of them, lots of times. It's, if we're not paying attention to them, then we won't really notice them. Okay. So again, mountains quake at him. And I think that this is like I always think paramount, even when it comes to the, industry, right? And you see that peak, it's, I don't know, I think it's very symbolic for something else. Oh. Excuse me. And the hills melt. Okay. So again, there, what I think this is representing is that like groups and things that have built up a large foundation, and they have a big huge thing going on. Okay. And then there's some small hills. There's some of us that are smaller when it comes to numbers or knowledge or information or whatnot, that again they are expecting to melt, to give up, to just melt down into the ground and just say forget it. So again, that's why I always say things about unity is key. And this type of unity, no matter what people think, is going to take a universal energy. All of the divide is done with. It has to be on principles, righteousness, and other values. It cannot be any longer on the things that they have created to divide us. It's time to take a bigger, again, just my opinion, because again, at the end of the day, the creators and the Elohim are going to do whatever they want to do at this point in time. It's not only going to be the fault of other people, it's going to be the ignorance and disobedience, again, to a certain extent, that is going to do it. It's going to be the ugliness, the things that are so ugly in this world, that are being done. Okay. Symbols of the entire present order of things is burned at his presence. So again, all of these things, these worldly things, and all of these records and things that we think is so important, at the end of the day, they can also be used to create more division, create more. So that's why I'm saying we're getting to a point where, I don't know, if things don't turn around, and everybody is just, even I get wrapped up into my own thing here and there, but again, we can all do that, but I think just also it's important to also always have some type of universal message attached to your delivery. Okay. Yea, the world and all that dwell. Okay, I think we already did a video on dwell and etymology. Probably something on inhabitants or something like that, where I went into depth with the term and tried to explain, what I think it means. But again, dwell is another one that we think we know, but we have no idea. So it's very important, some of these keywords, to look them up so you can be clear on what we're saying here. Okay. Everybody can't run back right now and learn different type of languages. We can only work with what we have right now. So like I said, that's why I like dictionaries and etymology, to help see. Okay, because sometimes it's just the fact that we weren't using those in the first place, that we just were told to, we have been given a perception of something, and we have been given constructed, manipulative books in our schools made by certain companies that, explained it one way, and that's just the way that we got it. They didn't go into depth, okay, or teach you even how to read the damn dictionary, okay. Oh, apologies. Okay, let's see. Okay, that dwell therein with an overrunning flood. Okay, will he make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. Okay, so again, this could be like a sort of darkness, from within. The whole thing of the overrunning flood could be flood of information. It may not necessarily be a flood with water that's going to leak or something like that. No, this is going to be the overrunning flood of information, I feel. Will he make an utter end of the place? Okay. And darkness shall pursue his enemies. Isaiah 28:2, Nahum 1:4 and 5 and 8. There are not to be literal floods. Okay, well, maybe they are going to break it down here all the way. That these are not to be literal floods and fires, destructive of our planet Earth. Okay, again, destructive of our planet Earth. So again, this is something that's going to be targeted against the Earth. And again, this may be why, excuse me, I feel that it was necessary to use this image that we're using here. And its population is evident from the statement, symbolic that the present order of things, when destroyed, will be followed by a new order, a new heavens, ecclesiasticism, God's glorified church, and a new earth, human society recognized under God's kingdom on a basis of love instead of selfishness. So again, it's going to have to take some type of equality, some kind of ironing out things, some kind of like evening out the score. Somebody may not be able to get all of these things bestowed upon them and others taken away. This is going to go back to, I feel, which again would be great in my eyes, something that's more back to basics, something with like grow your own, barter and trade, love thy neighbor, community run by community people.